Are you ready to... Let's do another battle. Today we're doing a cage match. We have Quick Hundy, Bread and Butter on the first 5 cards. On the next 5 cards we have James Spitzer. On the next 5 cards we have Gambling Gary. And then on the last 5 cards we have Keno Chris. We've got a 4-way cage match, 7-spot going on. $100 and a lucky 50 cents in the machine. 20 credits bet for a total of $1. Let's get ready to battle. Rules are, anybody hits a 7-spot, it's an automatic knockout. I reserve the right to end this at any time. We call that a TKO. Most points wins at that point. Meaning if I get ahead, I can stop it in the game. Most points wins. If I run out of money, most points wins unless we decide it must be a winning session, which we haven't decided yet. But if you look over here to the left, the top 5 is going to be Quick Hundy, Bread and Butter. The next 5 will be James Spitzer. The next 5 will be Gambling Gary. And the last 5 is Keno Chris. Let's go. Somebody hit a 7-spot. That is 10 for the Bread and Butter. Quick Hundy Slots. That is 5 for Keno Chris. You guys are the scorekeeper. You will be putting it in the chat at the end of the match. I know it's a jumbled mess up there, but I will do my best to call out those scores. That is 5 for the Bread and Butter Quick Hundy and 5 for Keno Chris. $5 for the Bread and Butter Quick Hundy. That is 5 for James Spitzer. $5 for Quick Hundy, 5 for James Spitzer. $5 for James Spitzer. $5 for Gambling Gary. $5 for Quick Hundy, 5 for James Spitzer. $5 for James Spitzer. $5 for Quick Hundy, 5 for James Spitzer, 5 for Gambling Gary. $5 for Quick Hundy, 5 for Keno Chris. $5 for Keno Chris. $5 for Quick Hundy, 5 for Keno Chris. $5 for Gambling Gary, 5 for Keno Chris. $5 for Keno Chris. There's a 5-spot for the Bread and Butter. Quick Hundy Slots just jumped into a pretty commanding lead with 105 points. $5 for James Spitzer, 5 for Keno Chris. $5 for Keno Chris. $5 for Gambling Gary. $10 for Keno Chris. 5 for Gambling Gary. 5 for Keno Chris. 5 for Keno Chris. Who can be the winner of the first ever cage match? 5 for Keno Chris. 5 for Gambling Gary. Sounded good. 5 for James Spitzer. 10 for Keno Chris. 5 for James Spitzer. That's going to be 10 for Keno Chris, 5 for James Spitzer. 5 for the bread and butter, quick Hundy. 5 for James Spitzer. 5 more for the bread and butter. 5 for James Spitzer. All right, that's going to be 10 for Keno Chris, 5 for Gambling Gary, and 5 for James Spitzer. 5 for Gambling Gary. 5 for Quick Hundy. 5 for Gambling Gary, 5 for Keno Chris. 10 for Keno Chris. 5 for James Spitzer. 10 for Gambling Gary, 5 for Quick Hundy. 5 for James, 5 for Gary. 5 for Keno Chris. 10 for Quick Hundy, 5 for James Spitzer. 5 for Quick Hundy, 5 for Keno Chris. 5 for Keno Chris. 5 for Gambling Gary. 5 for Keno Chris. 10 for James Spitzer. 10 for James Spitzer, 5 for Gary, 5 for Keno Chris. 5 for Quick Hundy. 5 more for Quick Hundy. 5 for Keno Chris. 10 for Quick Hundy, 5 for James Spitzer, 5 for Keno Chris. 5 for James Spitzer. $5 for Quick Hundy, $5 for Keno Chris. $10 for James Spitzer. Somebody needs a 6 spot. $5 for Keno Chris. Let's go. $10 for Keno Chris. $5 for Gary, $5 for Quick Hundy. $10 for Gambling Gary. $10 for Keno Chris, $5 for James Spitzer. $5 for Gambling Gary. $5 for James, $5 for Gary. $5 for Keno Chris. $10 for Keno Chris, $5 for James Spitzer. If you guys want me to play your numbers or get into a battle, email them at kenochris1971@gmail.com. Give me your numbers, who you'd like to battle, and we'll get her done. Or if you just want me to play your numbers in a video. $5 for Keno Chris. All right, we've got 10 for the bread and butter, 10 for James Spitzer, and 5 for Gambling Gary. Let's go cage match battle of the 7 spots. $10 for Gary, $5 for James. $10 for Quick Hundy. $10 more for Quick Hundy. $5 for Keno Chris. $5 for Gambling Gary. $10 for Keno Chris, $5 for Quick Hundy. $5 for Gambling Gary. $5 more for Gambling Gary. Starting to get low on funds. Okay. $10 for Quick Hundy, $10 for James Spitzer, $10 for Keno Chris, $5 for Gambling Gary. Everybody scored on that one. $10 for Gary, $5 for James. $5 for Quick Hundy, $5 for Keno Chris. $5 for Gambling Gary. $5 for James Spitzer, $10 for Gambling Gary, $5 for Keno Chris. $10 for Quick Hundy. $5 for Gambling Gary. Quick Hundy, 5 for Keno Chris. $5 for James Spitzer. $5 for James, $5 for Gary. $5 for James Spitzer. $5 more for James Spitzer. We need a miracle. Look at this. There's a 6 spot. The bread and butter hits the 6 spot. The bread and butter hit a 6 spot. The bread and butter brought us back. We're exactly back to where we started. Let's see. I'm not going to do that math in my head. We'll do it later. 335 times 5. And 5, little measly 5 for Keno Chris. I think that's pretty evident. We were way, way down. I'm calling it. I'm calling it. Quick Hundy's the winner of this cage match. I'm going to end minus 25 cents. Can you believe it? We lost 25 cents after all this. But that's the way it works, folks. I'm Keno Chris. Love you, bye.